It's not that funny. It's not that. None of these shows are funny. No. But imagine if the prostitute had a podcast. You know?
Did you say Socrates? What?
A podcast.
No, a podcast. Randy, come on.
You said if Socrates had a
No,
podcast?
the hostages had a podcast.
Randy.
Socrates?
Okay, I'm just
Okay, Danny, stop now. Like, now you're gonna make them
Danny,
seriously?
you don't, I didn't know you had a hearing problem, Danny.
What about
Sorry.
Plato? I would listen to Plato's podcast.
I love Play-Doh. Like when I was a kid, I loved playing with
I
it.
like where you're going, Danny. Wait, who's crinkling? Where's this
Yeah,
noise
there's
coming
like a crunchy
It's Randy.
sound.
It's always Randy in the
No, it's not. Well, what do you think I'm doing? I'm just living my life.
Okay, so mute up.
You making all
Yeah,
kinds of noise.
and then you'd be missing all the jokes if I muted
What
up.
about
that's a good
Jesus'
thing. Like, your jokes are a
podcast?
little
Do you
fucked up.
subscribe?
Nah, because you probably have to convert at the end of it. Like, if you listen to this podcast, you're automatically a Christian.
Yeah, I don't know the rules. I'm not supposed to go to a church, right?
You can go to church.
I think it's a no, but I guess.
No,
it
I mean, I
depends
meant
on
in
who
your
goes.
wedding. Like, I've been to a wedding. I didn't go to church for a wedding.
Your wedding was in church, right? That's a,
Yeah, we're allowed to pray. We're actually allowed to pray. Can't pray in a church because they have idolatry. You know, the Jesus guy and the cross.
Okay, Randy, seriously, what are you crinkling?
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you could go into the church, you just can't, like, physically pray while in it?
Well,
No.
I really crinkle.
Yeah, no, you really shouldn't even go in.
You shouldn't go at all. Yeah.
At all. But
Oh.
you know, when my best friends get married and stuff, you know, I'm just like look the other way. Kind of hard to. So you know, hopefully my good deeds will outweigh it, and God will be like, I'll give you a pass.
Are you allowed to go into a mosque
You were.
and
You're
pray there?
allowed to pray in a mosque. Not to pray in a mosque.
What
According
the?
to.
But why not a church? Because of the Trinity,
It has idolatry. You know, has
pictures, icons, and stuff. Yeah.
icons and you know all sorts of.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Can't pray to idols.
There's some black dude rage baiting in chat.
There's what?
There's some dude rage baiting in chat. IDF are terrorists, he says.
Ooh, idea for terrorists.
Some Indian dude in chat.
Oh, I think he left.
Why don't you delete the comments since he left?
It's so
I
weird
really
to me
don't
how
like to delete
people
comments, but sure.
care
I do.
so
Hold
much.
on. Is that Randy worried about some off-the-cuff comments in the chat after he was making some bullshit jokes?
Okay,
5
all
seconds
right.
ago?
The dark humor
Here's
joke was
the
actually
funny.
pretty funny. I would laugh.
No, it really fucking
No, it was
wasn't.
not.
No,
It was
listen,
not.
I don't want to
Guys, it was not.
No, not.
No race.
Okay,
Look, it crossed the line. Called him out on that. He withdrew it. I hope we could move on from it.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Was it black
Randy?
comedy?
Please
Come
don't.
on, let's stop.
It's not
Stop
cool.
with the black. Not cool. Okay, let's be sensitive to the audience and to jokes across the line.
Should we be sensitive to Edmund's audience?
No, you could do whatever the F you want with Edmund's audience, which is probably us. He could be Tarot. I have no idea.
He is Tarot. You didn't know that?
Oh, I don't.
What?
Oh, he is. Oh, great. Hey,
Yeah,
Edmund,
he's
how are you?
Tarot.
I can't keep up with the number of.
Edmund, buddy, come on up.
Yeah. Don't just stick down there. Simon, how are you?
Hey, Edmund,
Hear
I'm
me say that I'm gonna sue him when he came in? That someone's gonna help me sue him?
No, I didn't hear that. Really?
Randy, I love your idea about the Palestinian and Israeli boy band concept. That had me dying laughing.
I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Hey, are we live on Q104 FM, Tarrant?
Yeah, we're live. We've got one person two people watching us on YouTube. Two people.
Yeah. Have you monetized at least a penny from the cumulative amount of airtime of Clubhouse rooms? Like, what do you think the
No.
total is?
No dollars.
Hold on. I want him to answer this, and what do your total? If you take your total revenue from YouTube,
Let's look at it this way.
Cost of all the phones.
I get it. Let's look at it this way. If I went to work for the past, 4 years instead of recording Clubhouse, I'd have probably, $300,000.
Okay. No, I don't.
So
think
no, hold on. That's A, but you decided to do this. So let's take total Google payments minus costs of all of that stuff equals net profit, right?
Negative, net negative.
Is that positive?
It's negative. I've made no
That's
money,
negative.
and I haven't made a dime yet from YouTube, Google. I have many YouTube accounts, but
How am I doing on Pornhub? I heard you're putting me on Pornhub.
no, I'm not putting it
From
on
Bussy.
Pornhub. Oh yeah, Bussy's a very credible, reliable witness.
Because we're in the room and they were like, yeah, they just put the Clubhouse room on Pornhub. I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to watch that on Pornhub. And then Zach's like, yes, they will. You're dumb. And I was like,
Look, there's somebody who will watch anything on Pornhub. Like, you could put your left toenail, right? Some idiot's going to have a fetish of it.
yes.
I don't know. There is other content, I believe, on some of these porn sites, but it's usually like pornographers doing a podcast talking about, their career and whatever the fuck it is they talk about, but no one is interested in what I'm doing, and that I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I like listening to the conversations, but nonetheless, like the general, rant, because it's all algorithmic based. Like whoever happens to come across the YouTube live stream, they're just doom scrolling. They come across it and they say, what the fuck is all this about? They don't understand. There's no context for them and they don't know anything about this app. So it's like a mystery for the people watching. They're like, who are these people talking? And it's not just you. I mean, I can go to a black room and believe me, a black room of 10 people talking all kinds of shit is more exciting than, a lot of other conversations. But I will say black people on this app, they're probably the only source of content that could be monetized. However, they use so much profanity sometimes or hate speech and violence that the community guideline copyright strike comes in and then your account gets terminated. So it's like you need a fine balance of vulgarity. You can't have too much.
Yakov, what happened with this 400 billion found in Gaza? Is that real?
It's rumor. It's going around.
What do you think, Simon?
They haven't denied it. Hamas has not denied it yet.
Hold on, it's so large, they're working on getting a forklift into the tunnel because carrying it out brick by brick, it's gold bullion. It's in Yahya Sinwar's personal place, along with, they found 30 Birkin bags. She only took the best one. So there's 29 they found 29 because she had one. So they're working on pulling it out, figuring out where to distribute it, most likely to the victims of 10/7, and then to pay for fuel for the fighter planes. So,
But the important thing is this. Hamas has not denied it.
yeah.
And Al Jazeera is refusing to cover it. So that tells you something right there.
But Simon's an atheist. I don't know if he's going to believe in any of this. He doubts.
Doubt what? What do I doubt?
Your faith. You have no faith. You don't believe in the existence of the creator and the maker.
What does that have to do with Birkin bags in the tunnels?
He's entitled to not believe in
I'm
God.
trying to say is you're
That's
gullible.
fine.
You're gullible.
Oh, listen, don't attack him personally. The topic is the 400 billion. And that's the topic. That's why I'm gullible. The topic is the 400 billion. And sure, some people will say, oh, it's 395 billion. You're exaggerating. So you're rounding up.
Yeah,
okay?
it's an estimate because they see there's all these. So they do the length, they do the width, and then do the depth, and then they assess.
And no one's counted it yet. It's $20 bills.
Approximation, and they multiply by the price of gold at any given second, and you get the total value.
Listen,
So-
George Clooney.
Wait,
George
they actually
Clooney.
found gold?
Yeah, George Clooney
Yeah,
has
cool.
already
Correct.
opted for the movie. They're going to make a movie about this. George
Yeah,
Clooney's
They
going to
already
star in
make
it.
a movie about that.
What would you call that movie?
They already did one, Three Kings or whatever, with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, but that was based on an old war. This one, I'd call it something like.
Based on an old war, now it's
Yeah.
a new war.
Yeah.
What are they gonna call it? The fucking.
I'll tell you, they're going to call it.
Three
You've heard
Kings
about.
Part 2.
You've heard of Ocean's 11? This will be called Gaza 11 or something. Rafah 11.
Oh God.
Okay, Randy, you slightly
You got my
redeemed
code?
yourself. You slightly redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta have
Gaza 11, and then they
what
got
do
the
you think,
sequels.
5
You got,
more good jokes to make
No.
up for the basketball.
let it go, please.
Come on, I'm just gonna pull your hair.
All right, man. Anyway, listen. That's why. Honestly, that's why some people are saying Trump wanted Gaza as soon as possible. He heard about it. You know.
Oh, maybe some of it could be used to create like the Riviera portion of that.
Yeah. Listen. I mean, if he had done that, if he had kicked everybody out,
Right?
and then if he found the $400 billion, which he would have kept, you know.
So,
it would have been-
finder's fee. Finder's fee. He'd taken 10%. He wouldn't keep it all. He would have taken 10% finder's fee.
He would have kept it all.
That's 40 billion. That's 40.
That's
That's 40
we're
billion.
talking.
And
That
so,
would have paid for the whole thing.
so
That
then-
he loves that. He loves those kinds of
Right.
deals.
So then there's 360 billion left, right? You
He
figure
loves those kinds of deals.
over 26 square miles. That's a lot of money per square mile.
It's a chunk of change.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. In other breaking news, did you see that Donald Trump is going to? I don't know if it's fake news, but he said he's going to consider joining the British Commonwealth.
No, that's He actually tweeted that in it. Well, what do you call it when it's True Social? What would you call that?
I told you guys I
bullshitted that?
called this shit and no one believed me and I called it. I said that they were moving
associate
Harry
member.
over to be the king and no one believed me. I said, what do you think they're doing? Oprah's like setting the stage with this little interview and here comes Harry ready to take over America.
No,
They should make them
they have
ambassadors in the United
associate members.
States.
Listen, they have associate members of the British Commonwealth, and so they're probably going to extend it. And the U.S. will probably say yes. But it literally means nothing. Like they show up at a meeting once a year of the Commonwealth.
We were always baby Britain, I think.
Yeah. We just look. Canada stayed, Australia stayed, New Zealand stayed. They all had peaceful sort of detachments from Britain. We're the only ones who got really hot and bothered and started fighting back against them. But the other British Commonwealth countries, they did okay. You know, they were like, yeah, sure, this is fine,
Yaakov,
yes.
Yaakov, what you have is you have members of the Commonwealth, and they're going to create a new category called Friends of the Commonwealth.
No, they haven't. It's called associate membership.
Oh, okay. Well, I like Friends better.
There is an associate membership.
The
So,
question is, did Donald Trump get blackmailed into doing this?
Like who would have blackmailed him, you mean?
Why don't you keep the racial stuff out of it, okay?
Come on, Randy. Blackmail is a term that has nothing to do with someone's color.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
You didn't misunderstand. You're smarter than that.
I
Did you
did hear an argument that did say that the way that we say blacklist and stuff is like racist.
I totally agree with that.
Okay, well, I just know it as a term. I don't know where it's or there. Let me search for the etymology of it.
It's like Indian giver. Can we agree that Indian giver is not nice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the question is this like a plot from the King of England to essentially take back the crown jewel of the empire?
The answer is yes.
The word blackmail originates from the practice of Scottish border chieftains demanding tribute or mail in exchange for protection from raids, with, quote, black possibly referring to the evil nature of the practice.
They could have all my mail, all my junk mail. I'll give them in a minute.
Can I finish the statement, Randy? With black, in quotes, possibly referring to the evil nature or the practice or contrasting with white, red, paid, and silver. There you go. It has nothing to do with one's skin color.
Good. But I'm focusing now on the mail. And I'm like, who wants my mail? I guess back in the day when people mailed money sent money by mail, yeah. But today,
Yeah,
You can have my mail.
do not put a check in one of those boxes outside the post office or any of those blue boxes. They take some thieves have figured out how to take the checks, wash off the payee and the amount, and then say $10,000 to some guy, and people get their money taken out of their account. There's no remediation for that.
That never happened to me. I can't believe that.
Oh, it happened. Yeah, every so often you'll see a story in the on the news.
Guys, is this true that 400 billion has been found in Gaza tunnels?
Yeah.
Guarantee you, it's all from Iran, from the regime.
That's what they're saying.
Maybe
They're checking it for fingerprints now.
Because the stamp is not. Iran is not. There are certain mints that produce gold bullion, and then they stamp it with purity, and then they stamp it with the origin date and the location of the mint. And Iran is not one of those countries that does that. So it's unclear as to the ownership of where it came from. But it's this honking big pile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's so large they had a special safe room with 4 locks on it. It took an IDF demolition team just to blow it up. They had, combat engineers brigade went in, took at least 4 pounds of C4 to break through the first lock.
I hear they got another 200 billion stashed away in Qatar.
There has to be. Look, if Sufa Arafat or whatever his wife name has $2 billion, then there's untold billions. The 4 top Hamas leaders were worth $11 billion.
Listen, how many of these leaders are left now? Listen, I know vast majority of them have been taken out, but how many of these leaders are there now?
I don't know. I haven't followed this. It's tough because
I think there's from 50 odd, 60 odd, there's only about just over 10 left, max, if that.
Their LinkedIn page says immediate openings for higher level people. It's great. The IDF has created such upward mobility within Hamas and Hezbollah ranks that
What's the starting
you
salary?
Start out as a mailroom clerk, and 2 weeks later you're the chief head of explosives, and then 4 weeks later you're the associate head. So, I mean, there's such upward mobility in these organizations right now due to the assassinations or bombings or whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. They have one guy just filling in LinkedIn job descriptions.
I hear Cynic and Cynic is on the payroll, as well as Prince, the terrorist.
Really? Oh. Billy, morning.
You know who's doing well in Jacob, you know who's doing well in Gaza?
Who?
The guys who do resumes, print resumes, because people.
Yeah, but hold on, no one prints resumes anymore. It's all
they're a bit old school. It's a bit old school over there.
Well, maybe.
I know a guy, he ran it for the resume printing place. He said, stop the presses. I just got promoted. I have to update my job.
I want to know who printed that enormous poster of Bibi Netanyahu looking like the devil that was at the transfer ceremony. That was printed really well. Like, no news outlet pointed out that there was a lot of money sunk. That was really well done. Like, if the fact that they could do that, like, where was that printed or done? Like, and how did
It was smuggled in through the Egyptian tunnel just for the event.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was high quality. It was very. It had Arabic, Hebrew, and English titles, so it's covered all the bases.
Do you think collectively the IQ has gone up since the leadership has been dismantled?
I don't know. I think it stayed the same. I think in a large population you have a bell curve, and I think the people inheriting the new jobs are just like the average of all of the total population. So no, I don't think it's good.
Is the bell curve just normal distribution?
Yes, the bell curve is a normal distribution where the mean, at the top, the mean, median, and mode are equal to each other. So, and then
Yakov, out of the mean,
minus 3 standard deviations.
So that's bell probability. So a bell curve.
Bell curve, yes. Bell curve, yeah. and plus or minus each standard deviation is about, I think, 37%. And
the game begins.
Doctor, I want to play a game.
I want to play a game.
You know, they've interviewed people who tried to commit suicide and then survived. And almost all of them, they said that as they were jumping off the bridge, as they were in air, they were thinking to themselves, I shouldn't have.
Wait, start again. I can't hear you. For one time, I can't hear you.
Okay. They interviewed people who tried to commit suicide by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. And the ones who survived, pretty much all of them say that as they were going down, from the bridge, after they realized that they shouldn't have done it and they made a mistake and that things were not that bad. So my question,
did they black out or they were conscious the whole way down?
That I don't remember, but I'm stuck on that observation that I made. And I wonder if some of these Hamas guys, like, if at the end they say, fuck it, I shouldn't have done this, like,
maybe.
Do they ever regret it?
Well, here's what I would say. My psychiatrist says that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So you just gotta wait it out. You just gotta say, no, it's not that bad.
That's right.
Believe me, when some kid named Yakov or some kid named Moishe stomps their face in with a boot and frees the hostages, they always say that. They always say, boy, I made a big mistake here.
Thanks for bringing me into the equation. Rabbi, how are you? Bring that dog up.
Good morning.
Good morning. You missed Randy's really intriguing boy band idea. It's worth restating. Randy?
I'm eating food right now. God bless you. I can't do it now.
Okay, so he wanted...
Good morning, Caleb. Good to see you.
It's some old idea. I don't know how old, but it was an old idea. Given Randy's age, it could have been the 70s. Who knew? Just kidding. He wanted to have a boy band of like two Israelis, like, one probably cultural and one Hasidic, and two Muslim guys, one...
Two Palestinian Arabs.
Two Palestinian Arabs.
What's it called?
We were working on the name. BB's recommended Tunnel Vision.
That's funny.
Yeah, and
That's very
Danny
funny.
had a good name. I can't remember Danny's name.
I like the names that have the word...
Lady Gaza.
No, it was Google Gaza and Lady Gaza.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think you'd have to have the boys, like Tunnel Boys or something like that.
You don't remember the Spice
What if
Girls?
it's,
Wait, the Spice Girls were Sporty Spice. Like, one of the kids could be what? Like, each kid would have a name, just like the Spice Girls.
If it's just a duo, you could call them Isaac and Ishmael.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Watermelon sugar.
Watermelon sugar.
Who do you think is the hottest Hasidic wedding singer in the Orthodox community right now?
Where?
No, it's this guy named. Well, there's a number of it. There's. Oh shit! I'm gonna forget all their names. There's one guy who's really famous. He's like a young guy. What is his name? I gotta look this up. Mayor will know. And then there's who's that guy who's a Satmar guy who doesn't look like he's Ashkenazi, but he is Ashkenazi. Oh, he's so good.
Moshe Rabinowitz?
No.
I just made the name up.
It could be something.
When I was a kid, this is true, the hot band in Orthodox circles, and Yaakov, maybe you heard of them, was a band called the Ruach Revival. They were like...
Sholem Lemmer. Sholem Lemmer is like the hot star. He's very talented. And then Lipa Schmelzer is the other guy I was talking about. Lipa.
Yeah, how are
Is
you?
this like Hasidic rock star?
Maury, I haven't seen you in a long time.
The thing about Ruach Revival is that, like, Ruach Revival, they kind of took off where, like, it's kind of a takeoff on Creedence Clearwater Revival. Mayor, did you ever hear of a band called the Ruach Revival? No. They were big on the, I swear they were big on the Shiva circuit. All my Orthodox friends knew who they were.
They don't put out records, but they play at weddings and things like that. The name of the band is Evan On. Trying to figure out. Rock on, Evan On.
In English, was there a second?
They make it into one word.
Okay, so if we were the managers of the band and we were like left to do the names of the songs, like what would the songs be? I like one song called Rock Solid.
They don't put out music. They play at weddings. Yeah.
Those wedding bands are amazing. There's actually there's a Hasidic guy who's got like quite an Instagram, TikTok video thing. His name is Chaimo. And he's got the most amazing kapatas and the most amazing clothes. And he's like this, he's just this like fun dude who like decided to be on the internet and like be Hasidic at the same time. Totally. Like,
You ever seen that guy Chaim in Brooklyn?
yeah, that guy, Chaimo.
That guy is fucking amazing. What about a
My metal name is called Phylactery Factory.
That's pretty good. Oh my god. So back to Randy's idea. If we have the four boys and we use Spice Girl, kind of like, you know, Sporty Spice and whatever, like what would they each be? Like,
But it could be the Sumac girl.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I love sumac.
Je had een 25-jarige dochter en hij wil beschermen van de stil van een land, mocht het kind van je zien.
Sumac is spice.
Sumac. Just don't get the poison sumac. Get the regular.
Sumac is very good.
It's a little tangy, so you're not shocked. It's different, but it's good.
Anything for my heart. Anything for that heart.
Yeah, we want to
It's
keep
been
you
through
around.
so much.
We want to keep the bad jokes coming.
You know those like pink onions that you get at falafel shawarma joints? That's what the sumac is basically.
I got a question for you. What the demographics in the Orthodox community in Israel? You know, is it like what are the actual statistics on the growth?
They're starting to grow at a slower rate than they have been historically. The total TFR is going down. I think it's
What is TFR?
total fertility rate. It's the number of children that a woman will have in her reproductive years.
Honestly, I think
it's approaching 5. It was 8.
wow.
Pretty hot.
Israel as a whole has the highest TFR of any developed country in the world, at just under 3.
Oh, wow.
2.1 is the replacement rate. So,
What I've read,
the total Jewish population include, observant and non-observant, is higher than the Arab portion of Israel, which is interesting.
what you just said, what I understand is that for Israelis born in Israel, the average is 3 children.
Yeah, it's just slightly under 2. It's slightly under 3.
I fine-tuned it, what you just said. I believe that for Israelis born in Israel, not that it's over 3. Over 3.
Because Israeli was a much more Western. Palestinians have more children and they use Israeli technology of medicine and survive. The most underdeveloped country of women.
Yeah, they have a high TFR because of lack of access to health. So you have
No, it's quite the opposite. They have a high TFR because they have great access to health.
less access
No,
to health.
no, that's a bad correlation. The correlation is the more Western,
choosing
yeah, but
Apple
bad
the
reason.
new
The more
tummy tuck
Western,
alternative.
the more
I got the tummy.
they voluntarily stop having children.
It's different. It's Western. It's the more income you have, the more revenue you have.
Well, the more we have to leave, the longer term, the more years they voluntarily stop having children. If you have a underdeveloped country, then they try to have children. If you have a country like that is supported by a medical system with the mentality of not other countries, that's a strange one. They're getting the benefit of a weird country, but not the psychology of a weird country.
So the inverse correlation is income up, TFR down.
Correct.
Well, it's the full weird. It's Western educated, rich democracy.
The primary, they pulled
I
it
don't know if
apart.
anybody knows that.
I always thought that it's the educated bit that really makes the money for the
Incorrect. Primary driver. And access to healthcare is also positively correlated.
But I don't know how you do something. I don't know how you are correct. If you are a country with a higher education drives income, democracy drives education and income. Okay, so I'm not sure how you
out of the home and pushing into the workforce. Generally, what tends to happen is you have dual learners, which age of marriage increases.
Yeah, that's what's happening slowly, but it's happening.
שבית המקדוש השלישי אינו בנוי מאבנים, הוא בנוי מדמויס. ועם כל מה שאתה צריך, רק קוידי מואחז. ועם כל מה שאתה צריך, רק קוידי מואחז. בבקשה ככה שלי, בבקשה ככה שלי. ריבונו של עולם, ככה שלי. של אוילום אני יודע שביס המקדוש השלישי אינו בנוי
In other words, many grandparents have 2 or more grandchildren, but the result of the one-child rule is that 4 grandparents have 1 grandchild together. It's a very scary situation. A lot of pressure for that one kid. I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's a failed policy. I don't know why they adopted that policy ever.
Resource allocation.
But still, now, the losers come home, whatever the expression is. Now the reality is setting in. It's. I guess, in other words, they intentionally wanted to decrease their population. There's an echo. It's just a very. I mean, the one-child policy is really hitting home. Right? That's the echo. Why am I hearing echo?
Sounds like
Has any country ever tried the one-child policy besides China? I'm just curious.
I think Thanos tried it in Infinity War.
Oh boy, I didn't see that movie.
Well, it's based on Malthusian economics. There's like an reduce. Truth is, if you wanted to do that, it wouldn't be helpful to do it by child policy. It'd be far better to release a plague.
Wow.
You mean like COVID?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Like, because you want there is an economic value to a mass reduction in the population, but you want it to be like sort of randomized for the best effect. And the no child policy, like, that's not as natural as a plague. A plague would be like easier to bounce around from.
So what's the total number of abortions you think they've done in China over like the past 30 years?
That's another good thing. Like, I wouldn't say good thing. Another weird thing to consider, like the effect of engineering that abortions have had, and just general child planning. Like, right? It used to be all of humanity was constantly attempting to give birth and just hoping we could make it through with some of them. Now that's like exactly not the thinking. Like, we have a high likelihood of sustaining life and maintaining it and keeping even the life of the mother, which means we need to think through all the math we used to do about how often we need to have kids.
Well, Rodney Dangerfield says the best part about kids is making them.
Practice makes perfect. Many years ago, a friend of mine was traveling on a plane, met a cute girl, and basically she said, my father's coming to town, and we're all meeting up for dinner. And I swear to God, that didn't sound right, Andy. Well, that was a zip, right? No, my father's coming to town and he zipped up his back. No. That was undoing my jacket. But anyway, turned out her father was Rodney Dangerfield. For real. I don't have any more material on that story, but that part is all I know, and it's true. Can you imagine that? Have that dinner with my father or vacation now. I mean, my friend didn't have any story, so Rodney was very normal at the dinner. Did you guys see in the hallway? What? Is that guy, memepodcast.com? He's broadcasting our room title, but he's like, Palestinian gold 100 billion found in terror tunnel. Oh, that's hilarious.
Rodney Dangerfield's real name was Jack Roy.
I think it was a good choice to painting it.
So it says here that his children's name were Brian Roy and Melanie Roy Friedman. Was her name Melanie?
Then, I mean, it's happened a long time ago. He's been dead a long time.
Actually, his full name is Jacob Cohen.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of that story when I think about it. You know?
What do you think his best movie is? Back to School, Caddyshack, Easy Money, Ladybugs. I mean, he's in a lot of films, but
I didn't see them all.
I think Back to School is his big one. Yeah, that's probably his best one. But Back to School, he's the primary character.
Yeah. Sam Kinison, and a lot of people in that movie made that movie great.
You know, Sam Kinison was a preacher, and then he decided to go stand-up comic in LA. But you know, his ability to hoot and holler while he preaches, it's the same shtick he does on stage, but he gets very vulgar.
Yes, the one who would be like,
Yeah. A lot of screaming.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
his
forgot his
voice.
routines.
I don't know how his voice survived that.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who I thought was funny, I just could not stand his affected voice was, oh my gosh, his name is now escaping me. Gilbert Gottfried, is that his name? Yeah.
We talked a lot about him in these rooms, by the way.
Oh, really?
A lot about him.
I assume that's an affected voice.
Yeah.
It's just, it drives me insane. Like, he's
Right.
so funny, but that whole shtick with that voice is just too over the top and for too long. Like, I thought he would have shed it a long time, like a long
No,
before he
dude,
died.
it worked. It was his, his gimmick. Then he did voices.
Yeah,
He did the Aflac Duck, but he had a big role in an animated movie. I forgot which one. Aladdin. I think he played Jafar. He played somebody in a Disney.
No, he played Iago, the talking parrot. With that voice? Mm-hmm.
Version of it, yeah. He
Who is
married a girl in the music industry, a lady in the music industry. That's his wife, Dara. Her first name is Dara. And a beautiful woman. And I saw her speak. You know, his funeral was online, and I watched it. And you know, you could cry. I mean, really, he left behind, you know, Dara and two, you know, everyone very normal. In other words, the wife it's kind of like the Munsters. Remember how like the Munsters all were hideous, and then like they had this niece Marilyn who was like gorgeous. It's kind of like what Gilbert is like. He's weird, and his wife is very, you know, normal and attractive. It was odd. I have 2 teenage kids too. You know, the shtick about him was that he was legendarily cheap. You know, and I ran into her once, and like when all our kids were little, and I brought it up.
Who was cheap?
Gilbert. I mean, that was his shtick. He would go on the Stern Show and talk about how cheap they'd make fun of how cheap he was. And she said it's all true. Until he got married, he lived in, oh boy, I'm going to get very specific, but he lived in, like, you know, kind of a hovel. When he got married, he bought a beautiful place and all that with Dara, but he lived very cheaply. That's all I'm trying to say. It's fun stuff. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Gilbert.
To quote Rodney, just remember, a crowded elevator smells different to a midget.
Yeah, or kids.
Yeah, you sound privileged.
Hey Brock, so did you hear about the 500,000 in the first tranche going to Egypt and the 400 billion going to the victims in Israel?
No, I did not. But did you hear about the everyday person?
Is this like something you say every day?
No,
Brock,
not at all.
Brock, you can't say everyday man anymore. You have to say everyday person.
Everyday person. It's an everyday person. Hello?
Rico.
I guess everybody looks good at a wedding once, Dr. Brock.
Did you hear about the Mexican train killer? He had locomotives.
I think that's racist.
Did you hear about the guy who fell into an upholstery machine? It's okay, he's fully recovered.
Was his dad Joe Cundy?
I'm sorry. Did you hear the one about Helen Keller? It's okay.
Yeah.
Neither did she.
I got a Helen Keller for you. Oh my god. Let me get this joke together. 1 second.
Hey, you want to have laughs? Do what I do. When I go through a toll booth, I tell the guy, the car behind me is paying for two.
Why don't you have an easy pass? Why do you tell
Yeah, I don't think they have toll booths anymore. Anywhere.
At my age, I want to get sex over quickly. Then I can take my nap.
He's the one that's he's throwing coins into that little thing.
I fell in the garage. I can't deal with it right now.
My doctor told me to watch my drinking. Now I drink in front of a mirror.
Trying to fix the garage door. I got the garage door down. I don't know why I got
Yeah, who's your doctor Chicago cheeseburger? Is it Dr. Kevorkian?
When I go to a nude beach, I always take a ruler with me in case I have to prove something.
Hey, do you guys know how Helen Keller burnt the left side of her face? I didn't know that, but go on. Do you know how? She answered the frying pan. Oh my god. Do you know? Now hold on.
Okay, no more jokes.
My wife has a temper. The other night she was yelling, "You're an animal! You're an animal!" So I took a leak in the living room and I told her from now on, that's my territory.
They fucking called back, dude.
I told my landlord I wanted to live in a more expensive apartment. He raised my rent.
You hear this guy?
My wife is never nice. She won a trip for two to Las Vegas. She went twice.
Are these the jokes that are on the Louis Vuitton bags? These like Prince jokes?
It's pronounced Louis Vuitton.
Great.
Announced weeks.
My wife told me she was going to run away from home. Luckily, I live on a cliff.
They sound like Ronnie Dangerfield jokes.
No, they sound like Penny Youngman jokes.
I did a show. The whole audience was gay. I did great. I mean, after the show.
Was Rodney Dangerfield a Chicagoan?
I loaned a guy $10,000 to have plastic surgery. Now I can't find the guy. I don't know what he looks like.
He had a comedy club in New York called Dangerfields.
Yeah.
I found out how the limbo got started. A midget sneaked into the pay toilet.
No, they sound
I
like
mean,
Penny
it's
Youngman
first,
jokes.
guys. I want this bag that has these types of jokes on it. You know, this is like a 20-year-old bag, but
I tell you, yesterday that was a beauty. I found a guy's wallet. Inside was a picture of my two kids.
Oh my god. I've been going to comedy clubs in New York lately.
Chicago cheeseburger. Take a couple plays off.
I know I'm getting old. My insurance company, they sent me half a calendar.
Yeah, we've had enough.
No, but, you know, comedy clubs. All right, here's a new topic.
Matt Goodman.
I got no sex life. At my age, I need a designated lover.
Here's the question. Taking a date to a comedy club, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Dinner before.
My trouble is my sex life is on hold. I got no one to hold you.
Hold on, you gotta know the comedian if it's like
They don't.
Most comedy clubs have like five
Matt is
comedians.
the expert here. Let's defer to Matt.
So wait, what's the question? The question is it a bad move is it a first date?
I can't lose any weight. I tried jogging. I keep running into restaurants.
Try to have a conversation.
Good jokes. A+ jokes, bliss.
Well, you don't know that. That's the thing with comedy. Is like when you go to comedy club, think of bomb. You know. Second date. I would do dinner before. You know, create a vibe, get her start drinking, get her loose, and then you go to a show, and then.
Nothing works out. I bought an Apple computer. There was a worm in it.
Yeah. The food in comedy clubs is terrible. So yeah.
No, you gotta do dinner before. But like, here's the trick, Randy. Here's the trick. They all might be performing, and they all might be funny, but you have to know that like the real show is with you. The real show is you're the funniest guy in the fucking club. She just wants to be there with you. That's the trick.
I told my wife she was lousy in bed. She went out to get a second opinion.
Y'all got stuff. You can't abandon the entertainment.
No, you're still playing the game. Like that's the thing. It's like you're not there to see a show.
Really. Yeah, you don't take her to like Jocelyn. Like you take her to like some no-name comedian, and then she's not laughing as hard.
Don't
and then you
never
tell her
arena comedy. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
You get the thing is intimacy, and you want to make her feel like she is somewhere because she is with somebody who is important.
Yeah, she's like a Joe Schmo. That comedian's not that funny, but Matt Goodman, he's a lot funnier. I like.
I'm fucking funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to get an STI test. However, yeah.
Is that a joke? The
no,
STI test?
No, it's not. It's not.
Is being funny contagious?
Being in the presence of somebody funny can elevate somebody else's
Is it sexually transmitted?
Being funny is sexually transmitted, yes.
You mean
if you can make her laugh? If you can make her laugh, you can make her do anything. If you can make her laugh, then you can spank her, then you can fucking do whatever the fuck you want. You know, it's so easy.
It's like that line from Cruel Intentions. You can put it anywhere.
I don't know what that means, but with consent. Thank you.
Always consent.
What even is consent? No, don't do that. Stop it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. Stop it. Is that consent? That's consent.
Well, as long as there's a safe word.
What's your safe word, David?
I can't tell. I can't say. Docs.
No, just say the Spanish version. I'll have to look it up.
You guys know too much English.
I don't know.
Watermelon.
Hey, Billy.
Safe word. Stop.
Yeah. Come on, that's too generic.
You know, in Hebrew, the word stop is die. That's quite a safe word. Imagine if your safe word is die. I mean, that's always a tough one for me. Even Diane
now. That's a good one.
No. Should I go start? It's 11 a.m. I'm gonna throw $5,000 on some college basketball and start drinking. Why not?
Who do you like, Matt Goodman?
Be careful
Let me look at the board. Let me look at the board.
He wants me to have made him.
Take me some picks.
Hold on. Let me look at the board. We're doing it right now. Let me look.
Or should I just give the money and you can...
Do you have a bookie, or you go do one of these online things?
It's like, do you have it like that, or do you not?
Well, somebody in this room was supposed to pick my bracket, but it never did.
It wasn't me.
Fault. I was very busy. It was me.
Why did you just say that?
Some of these more
Yeah, it was Brock.
Oh, it was Barack. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I was joking around.
To be fair, to counter that, I don't even have my own bracket.
I haven't picked a bracket.
So why did you offer to do his?
Because I was busy, dude. Like, I literally text back and said, if I could get around to it, I would do that.
It was a conditional thing, David. You turn a conditional thing into a affirmative thing. Bad, David, bad.
Yeah, I don't think I picked the bracket since college, though. Shit. I was about to get in the car.
Oh, he wants me to have made him. I wouldn't have made him. Let him go through what I go through.
Rico, is that like a 20 ounce?
Last week I looked up my family tree, 2 dogs were using.
No, that's a hockey stick.
I know it's a hockey stick, but what would you call it? Is it was an iron? Like a 20 ounce?
Happy Gilmore.
Exactly, Happy Gilmore part.
Oh, is that Happy Gilmore?
No.
Doesn't look like Happy Gilmore.
I was upset because we were talking about the wedding singers and no one brought up the wedding singer, you know?
Oh, yeah. I just, for the first time, saw Billy Madison.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie, yeah.
Chlorophyll, more like Borophyll.
Amazing. Yeah, more like Borefield to me.
Good afternoon, Hannah, or good evening, whatever it is there.
Who in their right mind eats 30 sack lunches? You tell me that.
30 what?
30 sack lunches.
I made it extra sloppy for you.
Yeah.
Something about Danny saying that.
I can't remember what movie
How's
that's
your
from.
kid
I made it extra sloppy for you.
We're in your clubhouse. What's your kid doing?
He's with his dad.
Ah, so you got phone time.
I saw someone was they're going against Miss Rachel. Well, he's watching Miss Sarah right now, which is really good. I recommend that to all kids.
Yeah,
you know?
my granddaughter is like addicted to Miss Rachel.
No, get her on Miss Sarah.
Is she Jewish?
Switch her to Miss. Yeah, sing it with Miss Sarah.
Ah, is she on what, YouTube? Where do you find her everywhere?
Yes, YouTube. Sing it with Miss Sarah. It's so good. My son
Sing
is
It with Miss
writing.
Sarah?
Yeah, he's writing Hebrew words and stuff. Like, it's really good. She's really good.
Good to know that there's somebody else to go to instead of Miss Rachel. That's good to know. Miss Rachel, I met her like 15 years ago when she was a singer-songwriter in New York City. Before, at the time, she had a boyfriend who I guess she's now married to, but she didn't have kids. It was.
Can't hear you, bro.
He met Miss Rachel probably with the boyfriend, the husband now. He's from, like, Broadway. He did, like, Lion King
That's
stuff.
definitely him, right. So,
Yeah, his name's,
she was a singer-songwriter in New York City, trying to make it as a pop singer-songwriter. And, I'm in that business. And I heard the songs. They were not top left. They were not top. Yeah, but I'm going to keep it very real. They were not top shelf songs. I mean.
Oh, they're terrible. I've seen them.
Okay, I'm going to say something very cruel. I mean, she's very successful as a kid's entertainer, but as a pop singer-songwriter, she failed.
How dare you?
I know that's cruel of me to say it, but she did try that route, and we knew her music was very corny. Like there was a song.
Well, you live in a cruel world. You know, that's your job.
Well, it's the world in general is not nice. I mean, it could be nicer.
No.
The business world is a cruel world.
Yeah.
I'll put it. I don't like to single out my industry for cruelty. I think that a lot of industries are cruel. It's if you're used to a certain.
So maybe not shit on that person so much then.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. He's saying if America goes to... No, he's saying if America becomes a Commonwealth. If America... No, listen, Fourth. If America becomes a Commonwealth. That's what he's saying. If it becomes a Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth comes with obligation. There are obligations.
Yes, it would be in a similar situation like Jamaica.
That's exactly what he stated. He was mentioning the fact about what Canada had to do versus what Jamaica did, and what
Jamaica is a
part. Unlike Canada, so it was based on the leverage that they had to get this deal. Who has more leverage?
Sometimes it's hard to know which one it is because all the Sharia books agree with each other and say the same thing.
It's pretty messed up. I mean, it's talking about fistula. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
It's pretty messed up, isn't it?
Yeah, this is very messed up. Yeah, I think I know.
I mean,
but you know what scares me though?
it's not the layman Muslims who don't really know this and then blindly defend it. It's their scholars who do know this. It's their qadis who do know this. And for whatever reason, they're like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, that's the part that I always thought about that, Bishop. I think like these people are terrible people who know about that stuff and still believe in it, right?
Yeah, pretty messed up. I mean, it's. I don't know what else to say. I mean, once I read that, I was like,
Do you know what Muslim said when I was talking to him about this? He's like, "What? Are you jealous?"
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like, yeah, sure, extremely jealous that I don't get a man's anus or sex with a dead animal. Extremely jealous.
I was talking to a Muslim about the verse about the Allah's a pimp. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah. No, I know that one.
So I converted him out of the Hafs version of the Quran because the one with Abdullah bin Mas'ud's version of the Quran, which I think it's Qalun or Warsh, one of them, says that Allah is merciful to the slave, not the slave owner. But the Hafs version keeps it open, makes it either it could be slave or slave owner. So if the person is being forced into prostitution. So I convinced him out of the Hafs version of the Quran to another version. Like, now you have other problems to deal with because they actually go completely against all the parts of the Hafs that, oh, well, I got to study that then. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and study, but good luck to you. At least it's like I just converted out of the main source of the Quran just by one verse. Now imagine what other problems you'll have to face using the Qalun and the Warsh version. So it's pretty funny. Allah's a pimp in the Quran, yeah.
But they're liberating you by making you live under the.
Live like a pimp. Yeah, live like a pimp. Yeah, being pimped out, forcing you into prostitution. Totally, it's for your own good. It's for your own good.
Words and everything, and you're not in the mood to think. You just wanted to feel the breeze of the beach and
this thing for America. It's antithetical to America. I'm just repeating
I
myself.
just think you guys should understand Commonwealth before you come at me and before listening to Matt. Commonwealth, all the other countries that's under.
Yeah, of course. But tremendous personality and presence, too. She has it all.
Has a little personality.
You know, that one Thai woman is really beautiful.
Charlotte LeBon. She's playing Chloe. I don't know where she's been from before. Look, Billy, so this season, I don't know who Amy Lou Wood is. She's playing someone named Chelsea. She might be the one.
Let me just respond to Kogito, my man.
It's a valid
Monica,
point.
1 second.
It's a valid point, Florida. Address
I
it.
get it. There is no example. There is no example of them doing this yet.
There is, man. What are you talking about?
Look, it's fine. I'm conceding to the idea that there isn't. Whatever. But if you want to rebuke again after, it's fine. But let's just pretend they haven't yet. We know that there are people who can come into power and flip whatever the system is understood to be on its head. How do we know that these people exist, Kogito? Because one of them is our fucking president right now, right? We cannot pretend like things can't change from the way that they've been. If the constitutional monarchy of the Commonwealth chose to revise itself, I would imagine that it would be the king and the parliament. Ask ChatGPT that if the member states have a say in how the monarchy basically revises its constitution, Kogito. And then also recognize, just again, that we fought a revolution to break away from this. And your citizenship
as a free man, as you know the world today. One of the main benefits that we would get out of joining the Commonwealth would be if we were a lesser state and we needed to rely on the Commonwealth's military or trade power or just overall something to that effect, their soft power. But the fact of the matter is, Cogito, we have all of these things. We've established all of these things. Our things are the biggest and our things are the best that the world's ever seen. It's improved the world the most over the last 250 years for a reason, and our system worked. Right? We don't need to go back. We don't need to go back to the monarchy to fix a broken system. Does that make sense?
On this stage yesterday, we were criticized for leaving the World Health Organization, and they said if you were smart, you wouldn't leave. You would embed yourself into the organization and then enact and conquer from within, enact positive changes to fix the corruption. And now, because Trump might be considering this, you're acting like this is a bad idea? This is what you recommended yesterday.
Jesus Christ. Did you see that word? The word starts with a V. It's called voluntary cooperation. Voluntary cooperation. Okay.
Yo, Inkin, what were you saying earlier? Oh, Inkin's not here. My fault.
They done for you.
Anyway, I'm not falling for the histrionic.
They don't want no smoke with me. I just beat up James yesterday. These guys are doing exactly what the leftists do all the time. They're trying to read the smoke signals. Like
James, thank you, bro.
Say that again, bro?
James, thank you.
No, you're lying. If the leftists hear something, right?
As a
like, for
constitutional
example,
conservative, I don't need to hear my elected heads of state floating around the notion that it's rational to do.
Yeah, I was right in the middle of a sentence. Come on, bro. I was right in the middle
end of discussion. It nullifies your whole
right in the middle of a sentence. He was right in the middle of a sentence. So we all looked at exactly what was there for us to interpret. The point that was being made is that people are making interpretations lacking context. If Donald Trump comes out tomorrow and says, I was just joking, then all this is for naught. And the only thing that he said was, it sounds like a good idea. Right?
False. Wrong.
Is that what he said?
No, I'm disagreeing with you. If Donald Trump turned around today and said, hey, I was just joking, it wouldn't be all for naught. Because the fact of the matter is that he's an elected head of state, and he has to recognize the polarity of the position that he holds, right? The power that he wields with his words, they mean things. And even if he's not under oath, his rhetoric moves markets, and there's no reason for him to be fumbling around with, no, I sound like a rational, constitutional conservative. I sound like the guy that you want to be. That's the crazy part. But go.
How stupid is this guy? You don't even read. So again, the lefties always try to read Donald Trump's his meaning or the context of what it is. And when you're looking at his post, you don't have it, bro. And everybody knows you don't have it. You personally, like, yeah, you just don't have it.
Yeah, I don't hold that post.
The point I'm making is pretty clear. If you look at the Commonwealth, the gentleman that was just beating your ass about 3 minutes ago, he's absolutely right. This is just like the Paris Climate Accord, if you were to believe what you're saying, right? These are all independent countries that say, hey, we'll all do this. And the main three things is trade. That seems to be a priority of Donald Trump. The other thing is democracy, culture, right? Like things that you hold in common.